Have you ever wanted a mod that adds hundreds of new weapons, armor sets, tools, and just feels like a natural progression to the game of Valheim? Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the mod for you. That's right, guys. Today we're looking at this mod right here. Well, this is the stuff that's in the mod right here, but we're looking at how the mod is made up. So we're talking literally hundreds of new weapons, tools, armor, and also crafting materials, as well as new changes to biomes. Biome changes, we're looking at Ashlands, we're looking at the Deep North, and there's new things in them for us to check out. On top of that, we're also looking at these new armor sets right here, and my favorite is definitely this one with the deer head right there, where we can forever troll Eikthyr once we killed him. Of course, making all this new stuff requires new forges, and that's what these things are right here. Although some of these things would look absolutely excellent as decorational things as well, I'm sure you will agree. Now, a mod as complex as all this could warrant an entire series on my channel, but today all I'm going to do is just take an overview of this mod, and if you want to download it, I'll put the links to that down in the description. On top of that, if you are new to modding and you're not sure how to add mods to your game, I'm going to put a link to a video in the description where I show you a full tutorial on how to do that too. Now, the mod author has told me that this will be updated as Valheim progresses, so when Ashlands is coming out, which should be very, very soon, this mod will get updates along the way. So it's a great mod to get into and have fun and explore, not just now, but for the future of Valheim. Now let me show you what some of this stuff can do. This video is sponsored by G-Portal, who host servers for a huge range of games at affordable prices. If you'd like to check them out and save yourself 10%, there is a link in the description. So with my Eikthyr fancy dress on, I've come over here to the Ashlands, and we're going to have a little look around and see what's different. Now, the very perceptive amongst you will notice there are trees here that are on fire, and also it looks like I'm on fire because I'm holding this in my hand. This is this thing right here, which is the RAZER axe, and right here it says you can chop trees and also burn enemies with it. But for the trees here, you do need a pretty strong axe like this in order to chop them down. Now, by chopping these trees down, you'll see here what I'm getting is a lot of coal, but I'm also able to get these things right here. These are the burning world tree fragments, and they are used in certain crafting recipes, so that's how you're going to get them. And that's one nice thing about this mod. There is progression to it, and the Ashlands and Deep North are actually useful for gathering resources in order to build up more things in the game. You'll also see these glowing metal things right here, which are often guarded by the Surtlings, but we can go ahead and just hit those apart, and I'll show you what we get from that. And boom, there we go. That's how we get ourselves the flametal ore, and that is going to be needed to make some flametal, which is used in certain recipes, like for example the RAZER axe you see here. Now, from one extreme to the other, we're now up in the Deep North, and you'll find things here like flametal ore, which when you harvest that, you can get flametal from it and then smelt that down into flametal bars. Again, this is something that's used in certain recipes, so you do have to put a bit of work in and travel around, and it's basically an addition to the Valheim game, which is one really nice thing about this mod. So to fully explore this mod, you do need to explore the map far and wide, literally as high up and as low down as you can go in the map. And that'll be your way of getting all of the resources you see in here, plus a lot more things, and all of these are different crafting materials for different recipes that the game adds, or this mod adds, I should say, to the game. But now let's take a look at some of the stuff in this chest, because everything here does something a little bit different, and it's all pretty interesting to look at. Now, I want to briefly talk about these shields. You can see here there are a number of different shields in the game, and for example, this one right here will protect you, but also increases your frost resistance. So you get ones that give you, this one right here is fire resistance, you got frost resistance on some of these as well, and obviously you got like tower shields, and then you've got the shields you can parry with, just like in the normal game. The game also adds in some new tools and things, so for example, you can go all the way up to a black metal pickaxe now, and even into heavy metal pickaxes and things if you want to. And so this gives you more options for tools and for harvesting the resources that you need in order to, of course, make everything else. Just looking at a couple fun ones, you do have this giant bone you can go around with and hit things with, which is pretty cool. And if we go ahead and spawn in a goblin and then hit this goblin, you see it's a slow attack, but a big area of effect attack when we hit with this thing. Another awesome weapon is this that I'm holding right here, mainly because it looks so cool. It's literally on fire on our backs, which is really cool. And that's this one right here, which is the RAZER Claymore. So once again, let's spawn in a feuding here and give him a hit, and boom, we actually one-shot him with this thing. That is epic. I wish Valheim had something like this. Now, another really fun weapon that looks awesome is this right here, which is the trident. You can see how we attack here with a trident. But also, if we middle mouse click, we can actually throw the trident in the same way that you would a spear and then go and pick it back up. So it gives us a couple of options, but it is, of course, a two-handed weapon. So if we just hit a goblin with it, it does a fair bit of damage, and if we throw it at the goblin, then boom, it will kill it in the two shots there. So a pretty strong weapon, but a pretty fun one as well, and also just looks awesome. Now, one thing I really want to look at are the new bows and also the new arrows. There's quite a few of them, and in fact, the armor set that I'm currently wearing, which is this one right here, the Oller's Endurance, I don't know how to say that, that'll actually increase our bow damage by 5% when we wear the full set, which is all three of these things right here. It also has like an awesome durability, so it's pretty awesome little item there altogether. So first one I want to look at is this right here. It says used to shoot freezing arrows at a large distance. So I'm just going to spawn in here a load of bronze arrows real quick, and let's go and pick those up, and let's make them the only ones in our inventory so that we don't fire something else by accident. Okay, there we go, very good. And now I'm going to right click on this Njord great bow, I guess, to fire this. So there we go. It's an awesome looking bow. I love the blueness to it. And if we shoot this, it takes quite a long time to draw, but it would go a very long distance. Well, I was just wondering whether it actually turns them into frost arrows when it shoots. That there just like a normal wooden arrow, but let's try it on a mob and see what happens. So we've gone ahead and spawned in a lox because they're obviously quite big to hit from distance. Let's pull this the whole way back, shoot the lox and see how it goes. Okay, so first of all, the drop off there was almost nothing, but it doesn't seem to say much about whether or not that was any frost damage done to the enemy. Let's do it from a bit closer and see if something happens. Okay, I'll try it from here and boom. So it's hitting him, but I don't think it's freezing him, so not entirely sure about that one. Should mention at this point, some of the stuff in the mod is in early development, but by the time that you guys actually download it, there will be a lot more done to it because it's basically a little promo before anything comes out here today. So the next thing I want to try is this bow right here. So this is the Certo bow, and this is supposed to do some fire damage. And we're going to try it first of all with the bronze arrows, and then we'll try these ones, which sound really awesome. So bronze arrow first, and boom, there we go. And it did in fact set them on fire. So there we go. We're able to actually set the animal on fire by using this bow with any arrows. But now let's try these explosive flame metal arrows. Oh my god, we get charged, but here we go. Let's see what this does. And okay, boom. So I think I just did a lot more damage maybe, and maybe bigger fire damage. Let's try this again. They're supposed to be explosive fire arrows, so I think they're just like a lot more fire damage each one. So there are, as you can see, quite a few cool things you can do with this. And there's other things as well, explosive poison arrows, for example, and bone arrows and things like that. But what I want to do now is check out these right here. These are called Pickaxe Arrows, and apparently they do pickaxe damage on impact. So this could be like a very unique way of mining. So I'm going to go down here into the world and just see what this does. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and shoot this at this rock here, and we'll see what happens. Okay, it is actually doing a bit of damage here to the rock. There we go, and it broke. I mean, I'm not entirely sure of the practical use of this, but I can think of quite a few cool mini games and tournaments and special event things where it could be kind of fun to have that. But definitely just something that's like quite new in the game, and yeah, I mean, kind of interesting nonetheless. So the idea today was to showcase this mod and give you guys a brief introductory overview. If you want to know more about it, download it, play around with it, and just have fun with it, then I'll put all the links down in the video description. I definitely recommend that you check this mod out if you want to add to the Valheim game and looking for a few things to do maybe before Mistlands, or when you're done with Mistlands, it might be a good time to install this and take the game to the next level. And if you cannot wait for that Mistlands content, guys, be sure to like and subscribe, as I will be covering it in its entirety as soon as it's out. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.